fact, in 2024, we made a decision that we'll no longer hire from any other place than Nigeria, and we chopped the cane in 2025. We chopped the cane in 2025. You know, it hits me to the bone when Auntie Kemi also mentioned that even Alhaji Dangote was saying that Nigeria, we have, if you go to MoniePoint career websites now, which you can go and apply if you want to, we have probably maybe 500 vacancies or so. And we are struggling to find people to fill those roles. Not only could we not find people at the quality and the quantity we needed them, the few people that we found were not up to the global standards of quality that we needed. And we're competing globally. You're not competing with just local players. You people know my biggest competition. You know where they're from. They are from China. I'm competing globally. I need to make sure that I have world-class people working on the organization. And here I am, looking for Nigerians that cannot meet the requirements that we need to meet to be able to compete and build world-class products. I blame quite a bit of things. I blame our education system. I used to feel like Nigerians are really, really bright. And I am honestly beginning to feel like we need to do something to prevent the general IQ of this country from going lower. I am really, really worried. I used to feel like intelligence is equally distributed around the world. But I am realizing now that environment shapes a lot of things. I am realizing that the social media that we are consuming all the time, I am realizing now that the values that are shaping our systems now, the hookup culture, the yahoo yahoo culture, the let me just do cool things because that's what matters culture. The level that people are reasoning in this country is not as high as it used to be. And this is coming from me that I am a die-hard Nigerian that want Nigerians to grow. I feel like this is a role model problem. This is the problem that the person that they see around them is that local boy that has collected $30,000. And they want to be like him. In the grand scheme of what you can create in a 200 million population, there are many other alternatives to becoming a big boy Yahoo boy. There are many alternatives to becoming a hookup babe that is showing how she is traveling to Dubai. And everybody wants to be like her. So we have it in us. All we just need to do is develop our human capital. Change this mentality that we have about within our current youths that don't see any other path because of maybe the failure of our government and the lack of faith that they have.
All right, many Nigerians have been crashing out over what, the founder of MoniePoint said in that video. He said he has been looking for, capable Nigerians to work for him. He has 500, vacancies in his company, but there's nobody to fill those positions. And some people who have the experience of working with him, in the past, they're sharing their experience, and it's not good at all, right? So I'm going to be reviewing all of those comments so that we'll all see. So some are saying, he is lying, that he's just calling those figures, right, so that he can attract, global investors. While some, they are saying he's not willing to pay, professionals, right, that global level, global standard rather, that he's not willing to pay, what can attract them to work for him. And that's why, he's saying all of this, that they're intelligent Nigerians. So we'll be going through the comments, and this one is from Uncle Mr. Oli Baba. This is somebody who worked with them before. He said, I did 3 months with MoniePoint and resigned. I resigned and I'm not proud enough to have it on my CV. MoniePoint employee relations and welfare doesn't equate the hype they move with. You see, this is what I said. Many people, they are all going about with this narrative, right? So this again is from one of God's plan, right, on Twitter. He said, my wife worked at MoniePoint for over a year, and I can say for certain that I will never advise anyone to work for that company because they are evil. That's what he said. He said they are evil. Then he continued. He said, imagine a company giving you a bonus on your dashboard, but still gives you criteria to meet up to be able to get it. God forbid. I think this person is talking about somebody who worked as a POS agent, right? So let's move on to the next one. This is from David Hundein. This I think he's a Ghanaian, like a journalist, right? He's very bright. So let's look at what he said. He said the real issue is that the 500 job openings at MoniePoint do not exist. He said it's a popular corporate scam where you constantly recruit without actually hiring anyone, because showing a large number of job vacancies while advertising your aggressive recruitment campaign is a growth metric you display to investors. It shows that the company is growing fast, which means they should invest more money. Remember, I said this the other time. So if it continues, they say we can't fill 500 job openings in an absolutely deep job market like Nigeria. It's just a fintech bro performing for USD to locate him from whichever venture capital or private equity investor he's targeting. It is the same thing as when an NGO lawyer jumps on every trending human rights case without really achieving anything. It's a performance for the Oyinbo with USD to reward them. Motion without movement, fake activities, scam. That's also many people they are saying, because they are trying to, put all of these things into check, because 500 vacancies since last year, right? And he said something in that video. He said you can go and apply if you want to. That's what he said. Well, let's move on to the next comment. This is from Oba Sapi. He said, I kind of agree with him. He said, last year I interviewed some NYSC candidates to serve at my workplace, and I saw the kind of graduates we produce these days. Graduates who couldn't explain their thesis with confidence. A petroleum engineering graduate that couldn't calculate interest and couldn't use Excel. Wow. Of course, one was begging me to consider, but I couldn't because I gave him much time, than every candidate for that test, yet he couldn't do well. It wasn't looking like someone that could learn fast on the job. The 3 candidates we took are doing well, and they get paid over 170k plus accommodation. 170k. All right. With their government allowance, they are taking home over 245k monthly. All right, this is from Odira. He said Access Bank, UBA Bank, GT Bank, and many other big banks have their training school. Every year, they hire fresh graduate trainees, put them through rigorous training at their academy for 6 to 12 months, right? Unpaid traineeships. Why can't MoniePoint do the same? Una they find already made. He said, wait. So the truth is that some of these big companies, they train their staffs, right, to that level where they can work with them, right? This is from Unapologetic. He said, in my opinion, if the salary scale is not attractive, Nigerian youths of this time have too many options than a job the salary scale cannot do their monthly for them. What is your salary scale, sir? Then again, Obilanwa Taiwo, he said, I have worked with them before, and I don't pray for my enemy to go through what I went through, because they only use people like a slave and only pay on commission. I also think this is somebody who works as POS agent for them. This is Charles Anosike. He said the problem sometimes is not about IQ, it's about experience. Companies need experienced young people, but how many companies in Nigeria today open learnership programs or undergraduate training programs for university students? Even getting IT placement is hard. So how do you get, experts? So that is another angle, right? They are looking for somebody who just graduated. Like, they are looking for young people, right? And they will say we need at least 5 years experience. So how do you expect that young person to have 5 years experience? How you are not willing to train these people? And I saw on Facebook somebody said, some of these big, they need to sign, a legal document, create a legal document where the people they want to train, they need to sign that document that for the next 5 years, they will not leave that organization until that 5 years, they work with them for that 5 years. That is like a contract. The negative side of this is that some people work with these organizations, right? They train these people, right? Then they work with them for a while, and they decide that they will not work again. They leave those organizations, and it's a loss, to the organization, because they train these people, invested on them, just like music record labels, right? They sign an artist, invest on that artist, and sometimes they say they are no longer interested. They want to be on their own. So that's the negative side, effect of, this organization, the things they also experience. And looking at what this person said is a very good thing, but we also need to consider some of those things. And I agree with that, what that person posted on Facebook, that they need to sign a document where they remain with that organization for a certain amount of time, before they can leave, saying that they have invested a lot into them. Then this is from Temito, but he said Nigerians have one of the lowest IQs in Africa. I mean Africa, not even talking about the world yet. What we call smartness is actually not when you have to cheat the next man of his means. It means you have no better way of advancing yourself, and you have no respect for basic values. We need to start telling ourselves uncomfortable truth. Why are there so few Oyinbo people living among us? Ordinary Ghana, they have whites living in their downtown districts, mixing freely. There is something we urgently need to change. Sorry to demotivate you, but here is the truth. What do you think about what Temitope said in this comment. So moving to the next person, this is the last one we'll be reading. Nigerians are incredibly bright, but global standards demand global compensation. And yes, this is very, very true. You aren't struggling to find top tier talent because of Yahoo and hookup culture. You are struggling because the Nigerians who actually meet global standards are already working remotely for foreign companies paying in US dollars. The few who survive our broken education system and successfully upskill themselves immediately stop playing in a local league. Are local companies actually looking for global talent, or are they just looking for global talent at a local discount? Well, that is a very serious question, right? Nigerians are incredibly bright, but global standard demand global compensation. So what do you think about this video? Drop your thoughts in the comment section, because this is something we really need to address in Nigeria. You see some organizations, I'm not talking about MoniePoint now, you see some organizations, they expect more from you, so much from you, but they are not willing to pay well. They are not paying well, right? So we really need to address it. What do you think about this video? Drop your thought in the comment section, and do well to like this video, subscribe to this channel, turn on notification, because I will bring in more videos, and when I bring more videos, you'll be the first person to see it when you turn on your notification. So see you in my next video.